Well, as expected for the Dallas Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb, this is officially a holdout now. Lamb is not reporting to Cowboys' mandatory minicamp, which gets started today. Because it is mandatory, because he can and will be fined, that means this is a holdout. And the contract talks for Lamb and the Cowboys hopefully will get going soon, but we shall see what that process and progress looks like. Now, we'll have more Cowboys videos for you here on CeeDee Lamb, on minicamp. We'll do takeaways, mini winners and losers before training camp gets going in a month and a half-ish. Plus daily videos for you. We'll still find stuff to talk about. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. First note, I don't think this really surprises anybody. I think this has been the expectation for a decent chunk of change time-wise that Lamb just wasn't going to be here. And the lack of contract progress is the reason here. Now, maybe with Justin Jefferson getting paid, maybe things will pick up quickly, and you can have a deal done by training camp. I want Lamb at minicamp. Make no mistake about it. It is a couple of days. It's not the end of the world. Again, the sliding scale of what matters. It's above OTAs, but a good notch below training camp. Now, Lamb can and will be fined about $930,000, or $93,000, excuse me. I added an extra zero that was not there. To get a, $34 million deal with $100 million guaranteed, you'll take the $100,000 hit, right? That's not the end of the world there. So the real question becomes training camp. Lamb's not going to be here for minicamp. Will he be there for training camp? And if he is there for training camp, is this a holding in scenario? If he's present, he ain't doing anything, though. We've seen some of the other players with the same agent that Lamb has do something similar in the past, with those deals basically getting done early on in the training camp time frame. The fines, if you are not present, if you are not there so you don't get fined, are $50,000 per day. That adds up real quick, and you saw Zach Martin take a pretty big chunk of change. Cowboys never put Martin on the did not report list, so I wonder if they tried to sneak their way around that. I don't know. At least it wasn't officially announced by them. But the fines are expensive, and they are, prohibitive for most players skipping training camp. That's why the fines were set in place by the NFL side of things. So will CeeDee Lamb report to training camp? That's your next big benchmark as it relates to Lamb and the Cowboys. It's the pinned comment as well on today's video. So if an ad comes on YouTube, it's just fine. Ignore the ad. Go vote instead. Y for yes, N for no. I hope he's there. I've made the comment before. I am happy to support players trying to get their money when they are, when they are worth it. It's a very different conversation. If CeeDee Lamb's holding out versus, he's not even eligible, but like Jalen Tolbert tried to hold out. Like, come on now, let's be realistic here. Tolbert's not eligible for a deal. Lamb's different. He's a superstar player. He is maybe your best overall player. He's a top 3 young receiver, if not top 3 straight-up receiver in the NFL. I get him trying to get paid. And I'm okay supporting these things because I'm not going to do the double standard of, players can't hold out. They have to honor their contracts, but NFL teams don't have to honor this. I'll cut them when they're not good enough. That's why I wanted to cut Michael Gallup so bad. Ideally, trips camp with a new contract done. I want to get this deal done as soon as humanly possible. The market has been gangbusters for wide receivers this offseason. Justin Jefferson is the new benchmark, $35 million per year. That is more than A.J. Brown, who is not better than CeeDee Lamb at $32 million. Amon-Ra St. Brown also paid this offseason $30. Jalen Waddle also paid this offseason $28.25. Devonta Smith gets $25. Nico Collins gets $24.25. All guys that signed this offseason to massive contracts. The question becomes for Dallas and the Cowboys and Lamb is, hey, is Justin Jefferson the floor or the ceiling? And in the end, you might not be arguing about that much of a difference there in terms of do you pay him $34.5 or $35.5. What will really, I think, matter here is the guaranteed money. Some of those contracts, the Tyreek Hill one, etc., had fake final years of the deal where it was, it's a $30 million per year deal. The final year was $45 million. It's like, okay, it's not a real number there. That real number that Justin Jefferson got is reflected in the guaranteed numbers. Justin Jefferson is making $110 million guaranteed. He's getting that money. A.J. Brown got 84. That was a big deal for him. Amon-Ra St. Brown got 77. Jalen Waddle got 76. All 4 guys got the highest paid wide receiver guaranteed money relative to what it was previously. $26 million difference between A.J. Brown and Justin Jefferson. I bet Lamb's camp's going to say, hey, CeeDee Lamb got more catches than Justin Jefferson. Got more touchdowns than Justin Jefferson. Don't look at the games played. The yard's not that different. He's gotten better every single season of his NFL career. He's going to ask for probably more than Jefferson. That doesn't mean he gets it. And this is also why, at least in my head, maybe it's not as realistic in real life, in my head, I wanted the Cowboys to be more proactive. Because if they had started to have some conversations around what the number is going to look like for CeeDee Lamb, instead of saying, well, ownership wants to wait, if you were talking about a $34 or $35 million deal and then Jefferson gets 35, it's a little tough for the agent to come back and say, well, actually, now we want even more. You can do it. It's not as an easier of a bargaining position, though. More on this to come, but you can get the NFL draft hat from our friends over at Fanatics by going to chatsports.com/Cowboys draft hat. I would check it out, by the way, on the Fanatics website. You can kind of see the little 3D effect they're going for. I think it looks better, when zoomed in and certainly in person as well. So I would kind of check that out and not just allow it to linger there. Chatsports.com/Cowboys draft hat. The link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys draft hat. Look, this contract will be expensive. This is going to be a massive, maybe record-setting deal. And I have made this point so many times I've lost count of it. The longer you wait, the more it costs. And I really do wish the Cowboys had shown a little bit more urgency here. I wish they had been a little bit more proactive in trying to get that guy paid earlier. And if they had done this deal a year ago, which I had low expectations there, but if they tried to make it work with Diggs took a little bit less. If they'd say, you know what, Lamb, we love you, we're just going to pay you the max number, could have given Lamb a $30 million a year deal, could have given him the Amon-Ra St. Brown contract maybe, or even the A.J. Brown contract. And it would have went, wow, that's a pretty team-friendly deal now all of a sudden. Look what all these other guys are getting. And you better make sure you get that deal done before Jamar Chase. Because if Chase gets more than Jefferson, or this also works vice versa, I guess, for the Bengals, things get a little bit dicey. So would you make CeeDee Lamb the highest paid wide receiver ever? Would you make him and give him more money than Justin Jefferson? Go vote for me in the comments. 1 for yes, 0 for no. These are the highest paid non-quarterbacks. And this is kind of the range we're in now. From an average per year perspective, more importantly. Amon-Ra St. Brown, it's technically $30.002 million, which is kind of like, we'll give you more than Tyreek Hill on a fake deal. Chris Jones, 31.75. A.J. Brown, $32 million. Nick Bosa, $34. Jefferson, $35. It's a lot of money. The salary cap's also $255 million. So you got plenty of money to spend around there, and it's only going to rise. I hate the fact that we got to have Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu or whatever to watch, and Sunday ticket to watch all the games. That is why the salary cap keeps rising, because these outlets are paying massive, massive checks to get a single NFL game. Peacock is not Hulu is what I meant there. Now, the difference here is the highest paid quarterbacks in terms of non-guaranteed money. Now, length of deal does matter here. Jefferson went 4 years. That could be a sticking point for Dallas. They've liked 5-year deals. Maybe they'll find a way to kind of get over that issue they've had. It's probably going to be a 6-figure guaranteed sum. In fact, it should be a 6-figure guaranteed sum for CeeDee Lamb. And if you go an extra year, by the way, normally that means about $2 million more per year. So I would not be surprised, because we had this with Dak Prescott too, if there's a report of, the Cowboys and the agent are aligned on the average per year sum, not on the total years. Doesn't mean you're aligned on the money, actually. It means you have to add more money, because the way you can backload contracts, it kind of becomes a little bit fake there. So guaranteed money is probably going to be the big sticking point for Lamb's camp there, and Jefferson kind of set a benchmark that wasn't Nick Bosa. Might make it a little bit easier, maybe, for Dallas. So when do you think CeeDee Lamb will get paid? A, for after camp, or B, for before training camp? I hope it's a B, so I'm going to type B to kind of speak it into existence. Cowboys, for now, will operate without CeeDee Lamb at minicamp. That means more run for Brandon Cooks, who's been pretty good, by the way. I hope this team takes more shots downfield with Cooks. They just didn't try it much last year, which I found very frustrating at times. The offense was still good, but I think it could be better. And then Jalen Tolbert, maybe Kevontae Turpin gets mixed in there. I think Jalen Brooks too, competing for that wide receiver 3 role, and they'll get some extra playing time as a result with Lamb not present at minicamp. For now, this is not the end of the world. It is minicamp. It is a holdout, but the sooner this deal gets done, the better. Look, Dak and Lamb have worked on the side in the Dak backyard. That's a good thing. I trust that chemistry. It's always been very good. But you got about a month and a half until training camp. I don't know how much traction is going to happen in the meantime. I hope it does. I'd love a random, knowing my luck with my golf tournament coming this weekend, they signed CeeDee Lamb to a massive deal at 1 p.m. noon Friday, and I don't see it for 3 hours, and that's kind of how things stuck from that perspective. So now we wait. We wait for more leaves to drop. With Jefferson signed, there's not much left. So hopefully that does lead to some contract progress here in Dallas.